Hello, my favorite NPCs. I am Hellcat, and you're watching Scripta Arcana. Today, I'm building a full branching dialogue tree, skill checks, pass-fail gates, locked options, and 4 completely different endings. One of those endings can only be reached by 2 paths out of 24. I want to show you why. The scene is the assassination attempt on Keiran, the son of Shadowheart and the protagonist of the story. Sylwen, the Sharran agent, standing over the cradle with a black dagger. If you've been following the saga, you know this one's been coming. What I want to break down is how the choice architecture actually works, why certain options log out certain endings, why the hardest check unlocks the best outcome, and what that tells you about how branching narrative systems create tension. Let me share my screen and walk you through it. So, without further ado, let's do further, as my friend would say. Okay, so let's start the demo.
You dream of being a dragon, soaring above a moonlit sea. Your wife and son are warm against your back. Nothing can reach them here. Suddenly, the moon goes dark. A hand forms in the void, vast, reaching for your son. You beat your wings. The air resists. The room is dark, moonless night in flame rule. Sylwen, the lady's maid to Shadowheart, is standing over the cradle. In her right hand, a black dagger.
So that brings us to our first dice roll, our first check, which is a perception check. Now, as you can see, our main protagonist, Keiran, he's asleep, Shadowheart is asleep, and the baby is in the cradle. And over him, Sylwen, our antagonist, is standing, holding a dagger. She's prepared to attack, and let's roll the perception check. Now here, what I did is to just show you how different paths, dialogue paths, and branching works out. We can actually choose how we roll, or we can roll randomly. Now, we can choose success and see how it goes. We can choose failure and see how it goes, or we can roll randomly and give ourselves to the mercy of fate. So let's roll randomly at this point. And we already can see that we failed. So let's see what happens next.
Shadowheart's scream tears through the dream. She throws herself over the cradle. The dagger meant for the baby finds her forearm instead. Sharran's steel burns where it bites. The cut is shallow. The pain is not. You are off the daybed before her scream has finished.
Yeah, so since we failed the perception check, Shadowheart woke up before us, and she protected your son, but at the cost of her own wound. She was wounded, which is a bad thing because it locks us out of what is considered to be the best ending, but you will judge for yourselves. But yeah, you will see next that she will not be able to. You will not be able to choose certain options within the game. So let's switch the music back on, and move on.
You have Sylwen on the floor, knee on her chest, hand at her throat. The scales have surfaced, hard, locked, rigid. Your eyes are black. Sylwen looks up at you. Her composure is intact.
Yeah, so here we have 3 options that are open to us, and we can use our sorcery, which will have our Arcana check to DC 12, which is not that hard. We have an intimidation check, which, because you have your dragon blood, because you have your dragon blood manifesting, she will easily be scared, which is a DC 10 check. And you would be able to roll a persuasion check if you woke up before Shadowheart, if she wasn't wounded. But since she's wounded, you two are angry to try and do the persuasion check. Or you can simply attack her, pick up the dagger, and strike her with it. Now let's try to bind her to the ground and see what happens. Now here I can roll, and I will roll randomly again, and it's a success. So we will be able to bind her. So let's see let's see how that plays out.
Silver blue sigils spiral up her arms and lock. She tests them once. They hold. Sorcerer. She says it flatly, simply stating a fact.
Now, we managed to bind her, so that gives us some options at the end of the game. So let's see what happens next.
The guards will be here soon. You have seconds, not minutes. Shadowheart's arm is still bleeding. Keiran is still crying. What happens next is yours to decide.
Okay, so here, as you can see, we cannot use the special part where we ask Shadowheart to speak to her because the main character is too angry, his wife is wounded, his son is screaming, and we can do several things here. We can attack, which ends her life immediately, gives you no information whatsoever. We can use wisdom and call the guards of the house, and they will take her away. So yeah, you can maybe later you can come and check on her in prison. You can ask her questions, but you don't know it at this point. Or you can try and breach her mental defenses here, and try and tear through Sharran's wards. Let's see how that plays out. Let's see, also roll randomly and see if we can pass the, I mean, it's not too high, but it's, like over than average Arcana check. And unfortunately we failed here, so let's see what happens next.
The guards bind her wrists. She walks between them without resistance, the smile still present. Marta steps aside as they pass. Why? She asks under her breath. Sylwen does not answer. The smile answers for her.
So, here we see that we weren't able to breach our guards. We weren't able to extract any information from her. So that's that's a fail. It's not a fail ending. She's still taken to the prison, and you still can talk to her later on in the game. But yeah, so that's that leaves us to move forward into the game and see if we can actually find out how and why Shar is attacking your son. Now let's move over back to the beginning. Let's reset the game and see how other options play out. So let's start again.
You dream of being a dragon, soaring above a moonlit sea.
So let's
your wife and suddenly the room is dark, moonlit.
So we're moving to the DC check. Last time we failed the perception check, so let's choose success this time.
Something pulls you from the dream. Not a sound, the absence of one. Your eyes open. Your body does not move. You see the dagger. You see the 18 inches between it and your son.
Okay, so in this scenario, the protagonist wakes up before Shadowheart and is able to strike and move her, pin her to the floor. which means that Shadowheart is unharmed. The baby is unharmed. Of course, will be still screaming, but it's good that we woke up.
You have Sylwen on the floor, knee on her chest, hand at her throat. The scales have surfaced, hard, locked, rigid. Your eyes are black. Sylwen looks up at you. Her composure is intact.
Okay, so here we can now use the persuasion, since, of course, we're still angry. She attacked our son, but there's no trigger of Shadowheart being wounded. So we can, gather our composure. We can try the persuasion check and, tell her that she was there when Keiran was born. She helped Shadowheart through labor, and that she held their son, and to ask her, was any of it real? Why are you doing this? Why is this happening? So let's ask her that. Now here I want to show you both options. Let's choose failure first. It's critical failure. Let's see what happens next.
The dragon in your blood surfaces. Sylwen watches it happen the way a scholar watches an experiment. Interested, unafraid. Sylwen says with a smile, "All things return to the dark, and my lady will welcome me with open arms."
Sure, at this point, we understand that she's a Sharran agent, because she talks about the dark, she talks about my lady, and, that we will move next to the judgment screen. But, so she's not broken, she's not giving us any information at this point. So let's re-roll.
You have Sylwen on the floor.
And try and convince her. Here we choose success. And it's success.
Something moves behind her eyes, not remorse. Something older than training. Her jaw tightens. Sylwen talks. The labor was... She stops, starts again. I was not prepared to witness the labor. That was not part of Nightsinger's plan.
Okay, so here, since we have such high persuasion roll, we actually cracked her. We forced her to think about this very important moment where she was helping Shadowheart through labor. She was her lady's maid, so she served her for several months before that. And, so still she can be reached. We all have good and bad in us, and as she has broken her mind from the grasp of the Night Singer for a small moment. So what happens next? Let's see.
Keiran has stopped crying. In the silence you can hear Sylwen's breath. You can hear your own. The guards will be here soon. What happens next is yours to decide.
So here we can again roll Arcana and breach her mental defenses, but the unique choice here that, we passed 2 checks. We passed the perception check and we passed the persuasion check. So here we have a special outcome, which is letting Shadowheart speak, actually. And let's see where that brings us.
A small room, a narrow window, wards glowing faint along the doorframe. Sylwen sits on the edge of the bed, knees drawn up, staring at the wall. Somewhere in her, in the place where Shar's voice used to be, are Shadowheart's words.
I was you. I was you for longer than you've been alive.
Yeah, so that's the best ending, if you can, if you want to call it that. This is the hardest ending to reach, for one. So here we let Shadowheart speak to her immediately after the attempt, and we lock her in a cell in our home, and then we can keep talking to her, keep asking her questions, and keep unraveling this murder attempt of Shar on our family, on our newborn son. So yeah, that's one of the endings. Now let's see what we can do. Let's reset.
You dream of being a dragon.
So we need to reach
the room.
Other endings. So we see what happens after you fail the perception checks. You basically cannot reach the mirror ending, as we call it, where we can keep asking questions from Sylwen. So this really, doesn't mean anything, this role, for us, because at the end of the day, we need to see other choices.
Shadowheart scream.
So Shadowheart is wounded. Now, if you want to play the darker path, you're very angry, your wife is wounded, your son is crying, the woman who was serving you for several months now, who was at your wife's labor, is now trying to assassinate your son. So you might as well just pick up the dagger and strike her with it. So let's see how that plays out.
Your hand closes around the blade. You raise it.
Keiran.
Her voice, clear and absolute. You hold. The dagger stays at the apex, your arm trembling.
Don't give her what she wants.
The dragon blood screaming to finish it. You lower the dagger.
Okay, so here we see that Keiran was stopped by Shadowheart from, striking Sylwen with the blade. She's his wife. She's talking to him, and she knows what she's talking about, because she knows that if you kill Sylwen, Shah would consider her, not complete failure, So let's see what can happen next.
The guards will be here soon. You have seconds, not minutes. Shadowheart's arm is still bleeding. Keiran is still crying. What happens next is yours to decide.
So here we only have two endings. We can try and breach her mental defenses. If we fail, she will be taken to the city prison. This is the ending we already saw. Or we can, finish the deal. Despite what Shadowheart told us, we're very angry, we're very bad, we don't care about the information right now. We just want to strike her and be done with it.
The sound is smaller than you expected. Sylwen's body goes still. Keiran is crying. Shadowheart is not looking at the body. She is looking at you.
So here, the consequence is that you will not be able to ask Sylwen any questions. And if we're playing with approval-disapproval system, it will probably cost you huge disapproval from Shadowheart, because she saw you kill a person in front of their infant son in your bedroom. So it's not the best outcome for your relationship. Let's reset again.
You dream of being
and see how we can reach the final ending, the last of the 4.
Suddenly, the room.
Yeah, so the check doesn't really matter here again. It's a failure again.
Shadow Hearts.
Okay.
You have Sylwen.
So we can channel here. Let's have a success here.
Silver Blue Sigil.
Okay, we entangled her with the silver blue sigils. She's bound to the ground. She cannot move.
The guards will be here soon.
So let's try and breach her defenses with Arcana. Let's just success.
The failsafe triggers. Purple black energy erupts from her body. When it clears, her eyes are open. They are fully white. She is breathing. Her heart is beating. But the person who knew things is gone, pulled out clean. Shar does not waste failed instruments. She empties them.
Okay, now despite a successful Arcana check here, you see as Shar reaches out and pulls all the force of mind from her, from Sylwen, from her vessel in this case. And Sylwen is still alive, but she's completely devoid of any thought. She cannot talk. She cannot do anything. Now, the consequences of this are not clear to the player. Okay, I passed successfully the Arcana check, but the outcome is still looks bad. Why? So this would cause some sort of frustration with the player, but it would have impacts later on in the game where we maybe would be able to get a skill of breaching minds of the Sharran's followers, for example, getting a some sort of spell or a skill that you can use during your conversations with them or during the battles, or it can also be the residual energy that is left within your mind from breaking of her her mental wards, that for example during your sleep for the next night you will be seeing the visions of Sylwen talking to Shar. So this is still kind of a good ending for you as a player, but it's not completely obvious. So this would be kind of an emotional ending. So let me see here if we have reached all the endings. Okay, so the unforgiving is the killing. The shield is where she's taken to the city. There's two endings, like forced ending. This forced on you if you fail the Arcana check here, DC 16. The mirror, which is when she stays at your estate in the state prison, and you can talk to her, and Shadowheart can talk to her as well, ask her questions. So she's basically cracked. And here in the crack ending is where Shar takes away her mind, and you're left with nothing but body that can breathe but cannot talk, cannot think, and so you don't really know what to do with her, but it gives you this cool perks later in the game which you're not really aware of at this point in the game. So yeah, so here we have few lines of dialogue, 24 choices, 4 possible outcomes, and and the best outcome for the player, to get the information from the Sharran agent would be would require you to pass successfully two checks: perception check and persuasion check. So now here the worst ending for the player in terms of information would be the unforgiving ending, which is when you kill her and you cannot ask her any questions. Plus you get the minus points from Shadowheart's approval. And that's it. That's the full tree. 24 paths, 4 endings, and it is a problem. I'll probably argue with it about it with myself for the next week. Yeah. So if you want to read the full chapter, this thing becomes with my headcanon. That's on Archive of Our Own, link in the description. The whole saga lives there. That's where the writing is. I'll leave the tools I used to build this in the video description. Also, part of what Scripta Arcana is documents and the production pipeline itself. So if you're curious about any of it, it's all there. If this is your first time here, I'm building a live narrative design portfolio across original fanfiction sagas like Baldur's Gate 3 now, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Witcher to follow. The craft is the content. So subscribe and like if you want the next page. And the manuscript continues. Stay curious, my lovely NPCs. Hellcap out. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, you're technically a background NPC. No quest, no dialogue lines, just vibes.